in progress. We are working on the nation relations in the church and in the world and just in general. And I feared you might enjoy this morning's conversation, or you might just say, I'm going to disassociate myself and take the ad out and everything. We have another caller on the line. Are you there? Are you there? Are you sleeping? Can you hear? There he is. You didn't even let me finish the song. Don't you know if I am by
There's a reason for that.
Here I am calling you names and everything. I didn't realize the mute button was on.
Well, that, my brother, is the story of your life.
That's right.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Sound Travels is pleased to present to some and introduce to others my brother from another mother. He's the only living twin I have. He's whiter than Casper's ghost. He is Brother Dan Vale.
The only reason there's a difference, we got the same mama, but she whooped the white off of me. She whooped the black off of me. She either whooped the white off of you or she whooped the black off of me.
We got whooped, I can tell you that. Oh, come on, Bishop, don't act like you've never heard, I'll beat the black off of you. Don't act like you never heard that expression.
Huh? I've heard it several times, just not on the radio.
Well, we aim to be very real on this show.
We aims to please, we just lousy shots. Okay, here we go. The topic, as you know, we're dealing with the race relations and nation relations within the church community, which of course was within the world. The topics for today, pick one and jump on and have a good time with it, is the Caucasian race its own worst enemy in America? And at the same time, is the African nation, otherwise known as the black race, its own worst enemy in America?
Well, it's been nice being twins with you, Dan. We've had a good run, 15 years, 20 years.
One down, one to go.
I can see this one's going to be a loaded show.
I'm going to jump out and say both are equally true. We absolutely,
that's a non-answer. That's a non-answer.
It's not, though. It is so not, though.
Okay.
Being a young white woman, 100%. My own worst enemies have never been someone else of another race, creed, or color.
Ooh. Well, we've heard it from there, and I believe it because this is a woman that doesn't often lie, especially when people know the truth. So I believe it. She said it. I believe it. That settles it. Okay, brother.
I'm inclined to agree with her.
Oh, this is going to be a real short show if we all sitting here agreeing with one another. We can just play.
Oh, no, I'll get us 2 hours, Dan. I'll get us 2 hours.
I believe you
will. I assume that you're asking me next.
Well, you do have a microphone, so,
Yeah, okay. Here's what I think, and I am not a racist. I don't hate any one race. I'm
going to put a pin on that, but we'll put a pin on that statement. But come on, finish your statement.
Okay. I think, in general, the white race has been thriving. So I don't think they're their own worst enemy. The black race is the community, and I'm speaking in a very broad brush here. I know there's tons of exceptions, but so much of black culture is self-destructive, and it breaks my heart because, as a white man, it's taboo for me to say, hey, don't do this behavior that is part of your traditions because it's killing you. It's holding you back. I can't say that without being a racist. But I've been guilty of so much worse than racism. I don't even worry about that anymore. But it's just. But it breaks my heart to see so many habits, especially in the last 50, 60 years. I think that in the name of progress, the black community in America anyway, the black community in America is worse off today than they were in 1960.
What habits would you be speaking of?
Well, the most glaringly obvious, devastating phenomenon in the black community today is that the two-parent families have disintegrated. There are very few black children born to a mother and a father in the home, married, committed, and there to raise the kids. It's a minority within a minority, and that alone is, I think, is the single most destructive phenomenon that is hurting your community. Coincidentally, the almost identical statistics for unwed mothers is Canadians, white women, and the results are the same. Kids are running wild. They're not getting an education because they're goofing off in school, and they don't have a father in the home to teach them discipline. And there's obviously a racial element in with the black community, but up there notion that we don't need men. Well, apparently fathers are needed. I stand on that. Hate me for the rest of my life if you want. I think fathers are desperately needed. Both white, black, green, yellow, brown, whatever.
But here's the other side of that, Dan.
Father.
Okay.
Here's the other side of that. There's not enough real, genuine men to go around. There might be males, but there's not enough men to go around to do that.
Wow, we swinging for the fences this morning, y'all. Okay.
Well,
all right. No, Dan. Hang on now. You had a minute, and you used it quite well. When we're all surprised, but no, they're very cogent, very very well spoken. As a matter of fact, not that you can't well speak, but this was very good. And Nira, I mean, coming off the bench, where are the men? Which is what she said. Basically, is where are the men? All right.
We're homeless.
Okay.
We're homeless.
Well, okay. Hold it now. Bishop.
Where are the men? Is it because they're not being born, or is it because they're not being raised?
Okay. And if they're not clearly they're being born. And right now, if I'm not mistaken, my statistical self says that men are actually just a hair been born more than women right about now. I think it's 51-49. I could be wrong about that, but I think it's 51-49. So, Bishop, you have an opening statement?
Yeah. When it comes to a dual parent home, I'm probably in the minority at this point when it comes down to that. I grew up with both my parents. My father was a bricklayer. fought in World War II. Subsequently, he went into the ministry. My mother was a beautician, as it was called during those days, and she also ran her own school. So my experience is a little bit different than many, but it's the same as a lot. There are some ills within the black community, and one of the most glaring ones is crime, and particularly violent crime, domestic abuse, theft, robbery, murder, and the like. But it's also clear that we tend to abuse who we're close to. If you're in a predominantly Caucasian community, the crime that you experience is going to be committed primarily by Caucasians. I know of very few, if any, black people who go into a Caucasian community and commit crimes. Most of their crimes are committed right where they live.
Okay. I guess it's up to me now to say something intelligent. I'd give anything if I could do that.
Kind of bored.
Yeah, yep. So we need, when it comes to this whole concept, the sorry state is that everybody is essentially correct in their conclusions when it comes to how this is. Unlike Bishop Hamby, I grew up in spite of all of my raising and the folk. I did not have a loving two-family home. I grew up in my grandmother's house, 7 years of the most stable of my existence and also the most traumatic of my existence. After leaving my grandmother's house, I went to live with my father. After living with my father, I kind of spent a little time living with my mother. After living with my mother, I spent a little time living on the streets and in the back seat of my car. And all of this, by the time I was 16, 17, 18, all of that by that time. So I don't have, quote unquote, the benefit of the loving two family, but I have seen it, and I've seen it in the black community, and it was just as, shall we say, twisted as it was in the white community, with all of the same secrets, with all of the same issues, all of the same ills, but at least it was a family. So who is going to be your worst enemy? Who is going to be the one that's in your face the most? In my world, sorry to say, and some people have already hinted at it or accused me of it, it has been the people who look like me. Don't get me wrong, white folk, y'all had your time too. Okay? Y'all had your time
I
too.
feel like I got cheated.
Yeah.
You didn't.
You didn't. Okay. But it was predominantly the black people in my life that made my life, I don't want to say a living hell, let's just say challenging. But when I look, but there was no solace to be found on the white side either, just to be clear. Okay. Wow. Hey, Nira, you said you're your own worst enemy. Expound on that, please.
So, especially being a woman, we are taught, or I was taught, and women that I've spoken to, it is a pretty universal experience, from what I understand, that we are taught to second guess every single thought we think. And therefore, every single action we make is therefore wrong. And so, I think I've kind of mentioned this before, but as much as I dislike it, but in the Barbie movie that came out a few years ago, there is this extremely poignant speech made by the main character about what it is to be a woman. And it talks about how you can be popular, but not too popular. You can have a business, but you can't desire more than what you already have. But you should always strive for more. But you somehow have to keep that balance. You have to be pretty, but not too pretty. Mm-hmm. And you have to be meek and quiet, but you should also be outspoken, but never more than everyone else in the room. You have to, want all these things, but also not want them at the same time. And it basically talks about this fine line of what it means to be a woman, and especially in modern America. And we changed something at some point in history to make ourselves our own downfall.
That's an interesting take.
I see what you're talking about there, and I think that magic ingredient that has led to the downfall is what I mentioned before. It's the feminist movement.
Oh, 100%.
And it's the feminist movement basically states the exact opposite of what God's Word says about our design and our purpose.
Mm-hmm.
God wired men. We are to be leaders. Not all of us do it, but that's how we're wired. That's how we are not wired to nurture young children.
Mm-hmm.
We just don't have it. Although we can, some of us can for a little bit of time, but God gave women the ability for mercy and compassion that men we just do not have it. We do not have it. And so we were designed with different roles in mind, different purposes, and we're supposed to be supporting one another.
All right.
As a man,
right,
I am supposed to be protecting my lady. My lady is supposed to be nurturing me.
Okay, Dan, let me jump in here for a minute, because we may not be wired to nurture, but we are wired to train and to protect. So
yes.
We may not kiss the boo-boo, but we're going to train you how to either not have a boo-boo or deal with the fact that you've got a boo-boo.
Yep.
So,
yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Exactly.
Yeah, so our wiring for that is complementary to the mommy who will kiss the boo-boo, which I never had. I not one time in my entire life as a full-grown American man sitting on this radio station right now talking to you dead in your face, I have never had a boo-boo kissed.
Nope, me neither.
Not ever happened. Nowhere in my existence have I ever have a boo-boo kissed.
The only thing domestic about my mother was that she lived in a house.
You either, Bishop?
No.
You never had boo-boo kissed?
No.
So I don't know.
Look at me.
And my mom was nurturing.
And your mother was nurturing.
She was nurturing.
But she never kissed one of your boo-boos.
No.
I never have either. I was told to rub some dirt in it and walk it off.
So you never had a boo-boo kissed either?
No, I am the boo-boo kisser because I never got my boo-boos kissed.
Now, I've kissed a boo-boo for my daughter, but not my sons.
Well, no, you wouldn't do that. No, the boys have to walk it off.
They got
I'll call you
attention
Bishop,
for it.
but I'm not going to kiss a boo-boo.
They got attention for it, but to physically kiss it, no.
Yeah, but
No.
for your daughter, you did.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because she's my daughter.
Yes. And for those of us who did not graduate the sixth grade,
That's Daddy's girl.
okay.
And the relationship is different. I think in that respect, much of the world is like that. We tend to dote on our daughters. Fathers tend to dote on their daughters.
Yes.
And that's the relationship that my daughter and I have to this day. Although she'll tell you, Dad doesn't play. Dad is a serious man. Dad is a loving man, but at the same time, don't get it twisted.
He don't play.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we started off with the question of us all being our own worst enemies in America, and what I'm hearing is that we're all victim of a system, of a circumstance, of an action, and of a decision. That's what I'm hearing.
Systemic.
A systemic victimhood
Yes.
based in not so much our color, but our thought process. Gee, I wonder if I can look through the Word of God and find any other situation where a systemic group of people were problemed in their thinking and not their race or their color. Gee, let me think. Could there have been maybe at this building site, maybe at the Tower of Babel? Maybe as they wandered through the wilderness under the guide of Moses?
All of it.
All of it.
All of it.
Elaborate.
I can put it quite simply.
Good.
When it comes to the Hebrew people, they left Egypt, but Egypt never left them.
Ooh.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
That's why it took 40 years.
Well, some would say it's a little longer, but we're not quibbling. 40
Yeah.
years is
Yeah.
40 years.
After 400 years of slavery in Egypt, that mindset was ingrained in them. It was drilled into them. So
Yep.
the concept of freedom and liberty was foreign.
Well, now, that being said, it almost says you're almost making a case for the white power people that say that the Jew is using the black as muscle to control the white people. Have you heard that before?
I've heard
Yeah,
it before. I
yeah.
don't agree with it.
Oh, well, I didn't expect you to agree with it, but it seems if you'd agreed with it, I've picked the wrong bishop.
I do think we would be naive to not recognize that there are puppet masters in the world that are not necessarily elected officials.
Can I ask you a
There-
question? Are you
Yeah.
rich?
No,
Are you wealthy?
nope. I was going to ask you for $20.
Exactly. So when you have someone in the upper 1% who controls 98% of the world's wealth, hence Elon Musk is recognized as the most wealthy man in the world, but there are some who are really close, who are in control of that kind of capital. Know this: they're not trying to share any of it with any of us.
And just for the record, Elon Musk may be the most publicly recognized as the most wealthiest,
Publicly.
but there are some Arab sheiks and kings
Dick,
that
coming up close.
could buy him tomorrow
Yeah.
for 10 cents on the dollar. But within their culture, they don't talk about such things.
No.
No.
You know, it's very difficult for I was alluded to a mindset where was actually wrong in the movie in the Fate of the Furious. Actually, not in the Fate of the Furious, but in the one before that, where Roman comes up with the same type of car that the geek has. He says, "I made a sheik in Abu Dhabi an offer he could not resist. He could not pass up." That doesn't happen. They don't sell.
No.
They do not sell their possessions. They buy them, but they don't sell them.
No.
So
Yeah.
that particular thing, that's Hollywood.
Yeah.
Okay, so we may recognize Elon Musk as the most powerful, but I guarantee you he's not. He's certainly not the most richest. I guarantee it.
I don't know, but anyway, as you said, there's a lot of information that is not made public, so we'll never be able to prove or disprove that.
Here's what I'm getting at. After 400 years of slavery in Egypt, the Hebrews coming out still had the slaves' mentality.
Yep.
Their housing was provided for them. Their daily food was provided for them. Yes, they worked like animals all day long. But their entire culture by that time had been changed from what it was when they left Canaan.
So here's the problem. Because what you're saying, just as I gave you that particular speech, let me give you another. Mm-hmm. The black American did not, we didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us. We don't have the same rights and the same abilities and the same culture as your white counterpart. Therefore, you should not strive to be in this country. You should go, quote unquote, back to Africa. Has anybody heard that one?
Of course.
Well, heard it.
Of course.
So it sounds to me, well, are they right when they say that? When they say that the black American or the black person of color in this country should separate himself from the white culture and seek to find his own homeland again?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Nearer. What? Oh my goodness! What are you saying?
Do we send the Native Americans back to Siberia? Does everybody have to go back 1,000 years?
Well, Nearer, your voice changed.
I'm from the South.
Okay.
And I believe genuinely, America was born on the backs of the blood of the slaves that we brought over to build our country. It was built on that.
Why were African slaves brought here?
Well, according to the way I was raised, it was because it was cheap labor.
But Native Americans were already here.
Exactly.
The natives were already here.
We killed too many of them.
And
we systematically destroyed their culture by taking their children.
And tried to enslave them, but couldn't.
They fought back.
Okay. They fought back, and they knew how to survive this country.
Way better.
Way better.
We knew the terrain.
So you needed someone who physically could endure the hardship, and at the same time was lost, was not at home, was not in a place of comfort.
The black slave wouldn't know where to run to.
Exactly.
Wouldn't know which direction to go.
So to say to a black man in America, go back where you come from, is ridiculous. First of all, I don't know. I know the continent that I come from, but I don't know the nation that I come from. Africa is not a nation. Africa is a continent.
Yep.
So within that continent are various countries. Now, we can narrow it down to the West Coast, but it wasn't from the West Coast entirely. Okay? Once we were brought to this country, we were brought in chains. Those of us who made it. And for 450 years enslaved. And I say 450, somebody said, well, it hasn't been that long. Yeah, we're still in a form of slavery. Still. Still treated as second-class citizens, and in some cases, third-class citizens. I personally get infuriated when I see these commercials with the sweet-sounding music behind it, and they're asking for $19 a month so that we can save the life of a dog.
Yeah, I don't like those either. Okay. I really, they do kind of get to me. Why do they bother you? I know why they bother me.
Because, and it's not that I'm a pet hater or a dog hater, but we've got more issues to deal with humanity than for me to send $19 a month for a dog.
Mm-hmm.
And it bothered me for just about the same reason. How dare you put these pictures of all these poor puppies up there, getting me to send you $20 a month for caring for them, where next door, if not in the same building, where $20 is going to make a difference for somebody trying to eat real food.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when it came out that the elder people were eating dog food because it was cheaper, did the dog food manufacturers say, oh, goody, a new market, or did they raise their price?
They raised the price.
Yeah.
They raised the price. That's what stopped it. That's well, if I got to pay $2 for a can of Dinty Moore and $2 for a can of catfish or cat food, I'll get the Dinty Moore every time.
Mm-hmm.
So what is there? So wait a minute. It sounds to me like you people are saying that the poverty is in our minds.
No, it's in our stomach.
Okay.
Poverty is real, but it's not relegated simply to the black community.
Right.
Poverty is absolutely real. The welfare system in which we are engaged in America now did not start out the way that it is. It was given to the wives and families of white soldiers for years after World War II. But then when black women started applying for those same subsidies, something had to be done. And what was done was to, one, stipulate that the man couldn't be in the home. You can have children, and we'll supply housing, we'll supply food for you, and we'll give you a check. But you can't have a man there.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because if a man's there, a man should be providing that.
Well, white women were getting it with their man in the home up until the 60s.
When all of a sudden the social workers would stop by the houses of the black women at all hours, literally all hours, to see if there was a man there.
Yeah.
They would go through the closets. I've seen this happen. They go through the closets looking for evidence that a man
there
is in residence there. Going into the bathroom, checking to see if there's a razor or a second toothbrush or something that would say you have a man around. You know, what's up with that?
Well, when you take the man out of the home, you're taking the structure from the home. You're taking the discipline from the home. You're taking headship from the home. And now the woman is now relying on government subsidies to run her home, to take care of her children, instead of relying on her husband.
And this is, and you couple that little, what you just said, with the mindset that I don't need no man. And I must confess, I never heard that from a white woman.
I have.
Well, yeah, you talk to more white women than I do. Okay, you hear that? Yeah, just a shout out to my wife. You heard that, right? Okay, make sure my wife heard that.
But that's a common battle cry for black women. I don't need no man.
Is it?
It is. It is.
And Bishop, now come on, let's be fair, because you've heard that.
I've heard it from both.
You've heard it from both, but he's
I've heard it
saying
from
it's a
both.
common. And this is where the issue becomes, because as we look at the panel here, we have two of y'all and two of us. And y'all can say there's two of us and two of y'all. And so we're looking at this thing from four completely different experiences. We have Nira that says, as a woman, her biggest battles have been against women. We have Dan who says, as a man, his biggest battles have been against women.
Women.
You have a bishop who said he had the best upbringing that he could possibly ask, and it didn't shield him from all of the battles
Didn't.
that he had to face concerning all of y'all. And you have me who said, yeah, I didn't have any kind of upbringing or background that would give me any kind of solidity or solidarity, but I'm looking at all of it going, what the heck have we done to ourselves?
Yeah, where a father, you know, and I'm painting with a broad brush. Mother is nurturing. She's gentle. When you got a boo boo, we all want to go to mama, not dad. Dad's job, the part of it is because dad's job is to train little boys how to become men, which means, hey, suck it up. You got a boo boo. You're going to get more. You know, isn't that true though? It's a father's job to bring that part of the growth process, the maturing process, and we're missing that. Now we got a whole generation of kids. You know, if you say you don't like Bad Bunny, they got to go to their safe space. You know, it's like come on. You know, who's going to be left to defend the country? You know.
Well, let me say this. I'm glad you brought up Bad Bunny. I listened to the performance, first of all, because I put it on in the background while I was driving. So I listened to it, and I didn't understand a word of it. Mm-hmm. I did hear America's name. I heard America in Spanish a couple of times, but I didn't understand a word of it. And my wife watched it, and she said the dancing was phenomenal. She enjoyed the dancers were just great. Mm-hmm. And I thought to myself, well, now, this is the United States of America Super Bowl with the largest game in the country, the most watched, blah, blah, blah. 150 million people watched Bad Bunny, which means we may get more of this in the future. But where was the American who watched this is in proportion larger, and the Caucasian American who watched this is in proportion larger than any of the other minorities, and yet they were completely and thoroughly ignored during the halftime. And I'm just wondering if that's appropriate in America. Bishop, you're the sports person. What am I missing here? Help me.
Where was ICE?
I didn't see ICE at all.
Do you know why?
I'm listening.
Because money was involved.
Yep.
Ooh, interesting.
What's ICE got to do with the Super Bowl?
Thank you, Ed, for asking that, because I was going to ask that. Sir, what does ICE have to do with
Okay,
the
I'll withdraw that question. You go ahead, Dan. You ask.
In today's America, ICE is being used to deport and to arrest supposedly or alleged undocumented immigrants.
Yes.
Black and brown people from Latin America and from South America. But Bad Bunny and the performance brings revenue to the Super Bowl. We're picking and choosing.
So are you telling me that you don't believe that every one of those performers was vetted? Don't look at me like that. Answer the question.
No.
Okay.
No, absolutely not. But they're performers.
Yes.
So they are a part of that revenue-making machine.
And so because they're part of the revenue-making machine, ICE had better go somewhere else and do something else, because there's money, there's hard cold cash on the line
Of course.
concerning this. Now,
I think that's a long stretch. I love you, Bishop, but that's a stretch, I think.
Okay, you can. I wouldn't argue you that. I concede there. It may be a stretch, but it's there.
well, it's out there now. So if it wasn't out there before, we said it right here on Sound Travels Wednesday morning.
Let's kick the ballistics for a moment, okay?
Okay.
When it comes to drugs in America, there the Reagan administration, one of the administrations, declared a war on drugs.
That was the Reagan administration.
Okay, where was that war waged?
In the city streets of Black America.
Black America, Brown America too.
Brown America too.
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
War on crime, waged in the streets of America in black and brown communities. Okay, but I'm trying to figure out, where did we get the boats? Where did we get the planes? Where did we get the guns that was used to flood our communities with those drugs? Where did we get the capital?
Well, in Godfather 1, I tried to get a billboard that said this, and I was denied. They said there's no way we could put a billboard up that said this.
I know where you're going.
Yeah. We'll keep it in the black community. They're animals anyway. Who cares if they lose their souls?
Mm-hmm.
That is the mindset. That was the mindset of the people who criminals who push the poison within our in the black communities. But to be fair, to be 100% fair, it started in the white communities amongst the white people, doing it to themselves.
Well, let's be clear about it. As long as it's Becky and Billy, it is a disease. They're sick. But when it comes to Jamal and Juanita, now it's a crime.
Well, as I've said on numerous occasions, when I got suspended for having a bottle of wine in my locker because I was drinking during the day, during school day, there was nobody that came to me and said, you have a problem. You need counseling. You need this, that, and the other. There was no 12-step, 2-step, 1-step. There was no step programs that ever attempted to deal with the fact that a 14-year-old boy was drinking wine throughout the school day.
And no one cared.
And no one cared. Why? Daniel, my brother, why?
I remember you calling me out when you...
Hello? We lost you. I didn't do that. I didn't do that. Say it again. Oh, shout out to Miss Linda, because Dan didn't do it. So shout out Miss Linda.
I did do it.
Not on the air. I didn't hear it.
First off, I did. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, no, you did. You called me out. I said, Dan, do we need to talk? I found this sandwich bag full of pills in the back of your amplifier. What's going on?
Yeah.
And I used to keep an evening dose of all of my meds in the back of my amp in case I had to leave work and come directly to band practice.
Yeah.
So that was my safety there. But you didn't know that, so you called me out, and I love you for it, you know. But I think when someone comes forward and says, I have a problem, I need help, they look at it as a disease. When someone says, this is my lifestyle and I'm going to do it, and all the crime that goes with it and everything, now it's a crime.
But
I don't think it's based on race.
But you're missing the point here. I was going to a predominantly white high school.
Yeah.
I want to say at that time, I was living in the Collinwood area of Cleveland, and at that time, the Collinwood area was, I'll be generous and say 80-20. First generation off the boat Italians with this influx of black Americans. 20% is an influx.
Yeah. Yeah.
And all of my teachers were Caucasian. I don't think we had. I don't think we had one at that particular school. I don't think there was one person of color. And Dan had a bottle of Boone's Farm wine in his locker and was drinking it throughout the day.
Listen, I have to speculate because I wasn't there. I have to speculate, but I'm trying to inject myself in that situation. There's another demographic that I think has the same experience, and that's the Asians. There's all kinds of stuff that goes on in the Asian community that I can't even identify it any more specifically than just say it's stuff, because nobody understands what they're saying.
Can I press pause here just for a moment?
We don't.
Can I press pause? Because I think we're losing the focus of what the discussion is. When something is detrimental to a community, and when I'm going to say the white community, okay?
Yeah.
When white children are in danger, there's a rally cry.
Mm-hmm.
When black children are in danger, they're ignored.
I can't argue that because I'm a living proof of it.
Okay. But I'm gonna let me just finish my thought about the Asians.
Okay.
They are a specific minority community that follow their own rules. They got their own discipline. They got their own goals. They got a language that who among us says, "Gee, I'd like to sign up to learn Cantonese"? Nobody. I might want to speak Spanish. I might want to speak French. Might want to speak Portuguese if I live in Boston. I would deal with a lot of Brazilian people.
Or Framingham.
Oh, Framingham, that's right.
But here's my point. But I understand what you're saying. But the problem with what you're saying is each and every one of these communities has its own history of self-destruction within its community.
Yes.
But the self-destruction that happened in the Caucasian community was imported or exported into the black community.
Okay, I'm just going to create a little scenario here, and I'm going to put myself in it and use my name so that...
We have 4 minutes.
Okay. If I get up in the morning and it's my job in the community to solve problems.
We lost you.
We
lost you. You're cutting in and out. The last thing we heard was solve problems.
Okay. If my job is to solve problems, and I get up in the morning and I say, okay, if I go and I invest my efforts in the white community, and I got a chance of solving a problem with 80% success rate, because that's the hypothetical percentage.
While you're at it, tell me where Jimmy Hoffa is. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
I couldn't resist that one.
If I go to invest the same effort to solve problems in the black community, I get, we don't talk to police officers. We don't, we're not going to help you figure out who's committing violent crime against black people. We're not going to talk. We're not going to help. This is how we live. We're going to shoot each other. We're going to blah, 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 blah. If I was that person, I would say, I'm going to go back to the white people and invest it there.
Let me ask you something. Within the white community, Who are your community leaders?
Who are the?
Oh, Nira said it. Nira said it. The rich.
The rich. The rich.
The
If you
people
got
who
money,
have,
you don't have problems.
Yeah.
well, more money, more problems, but
Same in the black community.
No. Athletes, comedians, musicians.
are the leaders within the black communities. And unfortunately, here we are, pastors and chaplains sitting around, and we're not on the scale. We're not even in the ballpark.
The last true leader we had within the black community, both of them were assassinated.
X and King. And Marcus Garvey and a few others, but X and King.
Mm-hmm.
And while we're at it,
And how long ago was that?
yeah. And while we're at it, all of the people who signed the peace accords with Jimmy Carter in that great shot with their hands on the book and on each other were assassinated within their own country. The two Arab leaders that signed that both were assassinated. The only reason they didn't assassinate Carter because he didn't violate some cultural problem. But the two that signed it died as a result of an assassination. So what are we dealing with here? Wow, we're in it. It's how many? What we got for time frame? A minute? 1 minute. Okay, don't go away. We're gonna get Dan some medication. We're having it Uber eated to him as we speak, so he'll be. And we're gonna come back with round 2 of our scheduled 2-rounder Sound Travels. Don't